Spring, my favorite time of the year. Everything feels fresh, new, like it's time for a change. And that's exactly why so many people think it's the best time to sell their home. I hear it all the time. I'm gonna wait until spring. And honestly, I get it. It feels like the right move, but it depends on how you approach it. Spring can either help you or work against you. So if you've been thinking about selling, especially here in Miami, Florida, this is something you want to understand before you jump in. Because timing is important, but how you use that timing matters even more. So why does spring pull so many people in? Once the season shifts, people shift with it. You're outside more, your routine feels different, and you start noticing your space in a new way. And that's usually when the light bulb comes on. People start thinking differently. They start thinking about trying something different. And for families, it's even more structured than that. They're thinking ahead. Where do we want to be before the next school year starts? And even people with no kids prefer to move in the spring. You avoid all the summer chaos when everyone else is trying to move at the same time. The weather is better, you have longer days and milder temperature, so the process just feels easier. It does give buyers time to settle in and handle any repairs before the summer rush hits. And that's what brings a lot of serious buyers into the market during this time. And in a place like Miami, you really feel that shift because people are outside more, there's more movement, and everything just feels active. So it makes sense why people say that this is the time to sell. But feeling ready and being positioned the right way are two different things. Because while more buyers are stepping in, more sellers are stepping in too. A lot of people have the same idea at the same time. So now buyers have choices. They're not rushing, they're exploring, and they're comparing. And for a seller, that changes what it takes to stand out. You'll probably hear things like spring means higher prices, multiple offers, homes selling fast. And yes, that can happen, but it's not just because it's spring. It's because of how your home shows up in a more active market. But why does spring still work though? Let's break that down a little bit. Here's where spring actually works in your favor. You do get more attention on your home. There's simply more activity and more people looking, so you will be seeing more conversations. And more activity means your home has a better chance of being seen by the right person. Another thing is buyers are already in decision mode. This isn't just casual browsing. A lot of buyers have already decided they want to move. Now they're just trying to figure out where. And that mindset makes a huge difference. And then there's timing. When you think about how long it takes to buy a home, looking now means moving later, right when people want to settle in. Like I mentioned before, that's especially important for families trying to stay on track with the school year. Then there's first impressions that land stronger. When someone arrives at your home this time of year, it just feels more inviting. There's a sense of care, of upkeep, of attention to the space. And that's the first feeling. Spring tends to create a more natural reset. And this is one people don't talk about enough. Spring naturally puts you in the mindset to reset your space. You start reorganizing and letting go of what you don't need anymore. And when your home feels lighter, more open, buyers can picture themselves there. This is also the time of year where buyers are more financially ready. This time of year also lines up with tax season, so for some buyers, there's a little bit more flexibility. Add to the fact that holiday spending is behind them and now they're in a better position to make a move. So they're not just browsing, they're planning. The experience just feels better overall, and this is a huge part. The entire experience just feels easier. People take their time during showings, they're more relaxed, and they actually present themselves in the space. And when someone slows down like that, they start imagining their lives in your home. That connection is what really drives decision, because at the end of the day, people don't just buy homes, they buy how it feels to them. But if you're sitting there thinking, okay, so should I wait or should I move now? You're asking the right question. Now, here's something to think about. You don't always have to wait for peak spring. A window right before everything picks up where buyers are already looking, but sellers are waiting to list. And typically this is between late January and early March. But yes, spring can absolutely work in your favor, but the season itself isn't what gets results. It's how your home shows up in that season. How it feels when someone walks in, how it's presented, and how it compares without you having to say a word. Spring doesn't guarantee results, it just gives you a window. What you do in that window, that's what actually determines the outcome. So is spring the best time to sell your home? It can be, but it's not automatic. It works best when it lines up with your situation and you approach it with intention. Now, if you're in Miami and you're thinking about selling, but you're still trying to get clear on what it could look like for you, I'm curious, are you planning to sell this spring? Or are you still figuring out the timing? Let me know in the comments. Spring might be a fresh start, but whatever you decide, make sure it actually makes sense for you. Thank you for watching. Be blessed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.